Life throws certain truths at us that many aren't ready to hear. Standing here today, I'm going to share one of those powerful truths with you. One that might shake you, challenge you, but ultimately liberate you. Success demands choices. Tough choices, and sometimes the toughest choice is creating distance from the very people who gave you life. Your family. Now, before you turn away, before you label this as disrespect or ingratitude, listen carefully to what follows. The most successful individuals throughout history have faced this exact challenge. They've walked this path, felt the guilt, faced the criticism, and emerged stronger. This isn't about abandonment. This isn't about ingratitude. This is about growth, protection, and the courage to honor your life's mission. A young tree growing in the shadow of an oak. While the oak provides protection, its vast canopy also blocks the sunlight the young tree needs to reach its full potential. Sometimes seeds need to be carried by the wind, far from the parent tree to grow into mighty oaks themselves. Family relationships operate on established patterns, roles, and expectations. From the moment you're born, you're assigned a role. The responsible one, the rebel, the peacemaker, the black sheep. These roles become comfortable for everyone else, but they can become your prison. Your family means well. They love you, but love can be possessive. Love can be limiting. Love can be blind to the person you're meant to become. When you start changing, growing, evolving beyond their understanding, their love can turn into fear. Their support can transform into resistance. I've counseled thousands of individuals over the years, and I've seen this pattern repeatedly. The accountant whose family ridicules his dream of becoming an artist. The corporate executive whose parents still treat her like the confused teenager she once was. The entrepreneur whose siblings resent his success because it makes them question their own choices. Here's what you need to understand. Your family's resistance to your growth isn't about you. It's about them. When you change, you hold up a mirror to their own lives. Your courage highlights their fears. Your progress questions their comfort with mediocrity. Your evolution challenges their own choice. Creating distance isn't about cutting ties. It's about creating space. Space to breathe, space to grow, space to become. Think of it as taking a step back to gain perspective, like an artist stepping away from their canvas to see the whole picture clearly. But let me be crystal clear about something. This isn't permission to be disrespectful. This isn't an excuse to be cruel. This is about protecting your dreams, your growth, your potential with the same fierce determination that a mother bear protects her cubs. The guilt will come. Count on it. Your society has programmed us to believe that family obligations trump all else. But consider what serves your family better in the long run. Your stunted growth to maintain their comfort, or your full blooming into the person you're meant to be. Some of you sitting here today are feeling a weight lift from your shoulders. You've known this truth, but needed permission to acknowledge it. Others are feeling resistance, maybe even anger. That's natural. Truth often stirs strong emotions. Let me share a story with you. Years ago, I met a young man, let's call him Michael. Michael came from a blue-collar family, honest, hard-working people who valued security above all else. When Michael showed signs of entrepreneurial spirit, his family's fear kicked in. Every business idea was met with cautionary tales. Every ambitious plan was countered with worst-case scenarios. Michael loved his family deeply, but he noticed something. Every time he visited home, his dreams felt smaller. His confidence dimmed. His vision clouded. It took him years to realize that his family's love, though genuine, was wrapped in their own fears. He made the hard choice. He moved across the country, limited his visits, stopped sharing his plans until they were already in motion. Was it easy? No. Did his mother cry? Yes. Did some relatives call him selfish? But here's what happened. Without the constant weight of their fears and doubts, Michael's business flourished, and something unexpected occurred. His success gradually changed his family's perspective. Today, Michael's parents proudly tell their friends about their son, the successful businessman. The distance he created allowed both sides to grow. His family learned to trust his judgment. He learned to appreciate their concern without letting it control him. This pattern repeats across all fields of achievement. Look at any highly successful person in business, arts, sports, or science. Many had to create space from family influences to fully express their potential. Some faced opposition, others faced well-meaning but limiting protection, and many faced the subtle guilt trips that family members excel at delivering. You might be thinking, but my family supports me. That's wonderful if true, but support isn't just about words. It's about understanding, respect for boundaries, and acceptance of change. Even supportive families can unknowingly hold us back through their need to protect, their fear of losing us, or their attachment to who we used to be. Every time you compromise your growth to maintain family harmony, you're not just cheating yourself. You're cheating everyone who could benefit from your fully realized potential. The books you could write, the businesses you could build, the lives you could transform, all sacrificed on the altar of family comfort. Let me tell you about Sarah, a brilliant scientist whose family couldn't understand why she spent so many hours in the laboratory. They saw her dedication as obsession, her pursuit of knowledge as neglect of family duties. Every family gathering became an intervention, trying to convince her to live a normal life. Sarah faced a choice many of you face today: shrink to meet expectations or stand tall on truth. She chose truth. She limited her family interactions to scheduled times. She stopped defending her choices. She poured her energy into her research. The result? She made breakthrough discoveries in cancer treatment. The very family members who criticized her choices later benefited from her research. Her selfish pursuit of excellence became a gift to humanity. This is the paradox of growth. What looks like selfish distance often leads to greater service. What appears as separation often creates deeper connection. What feels like abandonment often results in more meaningful relationships. But remember, distance doesn't mean disconnection. Think of it as adjusting the focus on a camera lens. Sometimes you need to step back to get the perfect shot. You're not abandoning your family. You're repositioning yourself to serve them better in the long run. Here's what creating healthy distance looks like. It's setting boundaries around your time and energy. It's limiting exposure to negative or doubting influences. It's controlling the flow of information about your plans and progress. It's choosing when and how to engage. This might mean not answering every phone call immediately, not attending every family gathering, not sharing your dreams until they're strong enough to withstand criticism, not seeking approval for every decision, not explaining your choices to those who are committed to misunderstanding them. The key is to do this with love and respect. Your family's resistance comes from their own fears and limitations. They're not villains. They're humans doing the best they can with their own level of awareness. Your job isn't to change them. It's to change how you engage with them. Consider the story of Robert, a young artist whose family saw his passion for painting as a hobby, nothing more. They pushed him toward practical careers, reminded him of bills to pay, responsibilities to meet. Every conversation about his art was met with subtle sighs and concerned looks. Robert's solution wasn't confrontation. It was strategic distance. He stopped seeking their approval. He stopped sharing his artistic journey. He focused his energy on his craft. Today, his work hangs in galleries, and his family proudly claims him as their own. The distance he created became the bridge to their understanding. Start by reducing the frequency of contact if it's currently excessive. Create specific times for family communication rather than being constantly available. Be pleasant but firm in maintaining your boundaries. Share your successes after they're achieved rather than your plans before they're realized. When you do interact, focus on common ground rather than areas of disagreement. Share the parts of your life they can understand and appreciate. Save your deepest dreams and biggest plans for those who have earned the right to hear them, those who have demonstrated they can support without controlling. You have faced resistance. Count on hearing phrases like, "You've changed, you think you're better than us. Family should come first, you never have time for us anymore." These are natural responses to change. They're not commands to reverse course. They're signs you're growing. Let me tell you about Maria, a first-generation college graduate whose family viewed her education as a betrayal of their values. Every academic achievement was met with passive-aggressive comments about forgetting where she came from. Every career advancement was seen as moving further away from her roots. Maria's response: she maintained her course while honoring her heritage. She created boundaries while showing respect. She limited exposure to negative comments while expressing gratitude for her upbringing. Today, she runs a successful business that employs several family members. Her distance created opportunity for everyone. The pain you feel when creating this distance is natural. It's the pain of growth, like a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. If someone helps the butterfly by breaking open the cocoon, they doom it. The struggle itself is what strengthens its wings for flight. Your struggle with family dynamics is strengthening you for your life's mission. The guilt you feel is building emotional resilience. The resistance you face is developing your conviction. The loneliness you experience is teaching you self-reliance. The great innovators, leaders, and creators throughout history, many faced family opposition. Many had to choose between their calling and their family's approval. They chose their calling not out of selfishness, but out of responsibility to their gifts. Consider Thomas, a young entrepreneur whose family had been employees for generations. His desire to start a business was seen as risky, foolish, even arrogant. Family dinners became lectures about the virtues of job security. His enthusiasm was met with warnings about failure rates and bankruptcy statistics. Thomas made the hard choice. He stopped attending those dinners. He limited his exposure to their fears. He focused on building his business. 5 years later, that business provides employment to dozens of people, including several family members who once criticized his dreams. Lesson: sometimes the greatest act of love is creating space for everyone to grow. Your family's comfort zone doesn't have to be your prison. Their limitations don't have to be your ceiling. Their fears don't have to be your roadblocks. This process will test you. There will be moments when the easier path seems to be regression, going back to old patterns, giving in to family pressure, shrinking to make others comfortable. In these moments, remember, your potential is a gift, but it's also a responsibility. You're not just doing this for yourself. You're doing it for everyone who will benefit from your fully expressed potential. You're doing it for the next generation who needs to see that it's possible to love your family while still being true to yourself. Let me share another story about Lisa, a talented musician whose family saw her music as a distraction from real work. Every hour spent practicing was criticized as time wasted. Every performance opportunity was met with reminders about reliable career paths. Lisa's solution wasn't rebellion. It was strategic withdrawal. She stopped sharing her musical journey with family. She found mentors who understood her passion. She built a support system outside her family circle. Today, her music touches thousands of lives, and her family has learned to appreciate the very gift they once dismissed. Your family gave you life, but they don't own your life. They started your journey, but they don't get to dictate its direction. They can occupy a cherished place in your heart without occupying every moment of your time and every ounce of your energy. As you create this necessary distance, focus on building your new support system. Surround yourself with people who understand your journey, who support your growth, who challenge you to become better rather than remain comfortable. These people become your chosen family, not replacing your biological family, but complementing. Remember David, a corporate executive whose family couldn't understand his dedication to his career. They saw his long hours as a rejection of family values. His promotions were met with comments about becoming too good for his raising. His success created tension at every family gathering. David's approach, he maintained contact but controlled the narrative. He shared his success in ways that emphasized family values, the ability to help relatives in need, fund education for nieces and nephews, contribute to family emergencies. He turned his distance into a different form of connection. Success leaves clues, and one consistent clue is this. Those who achieve greatness learn to manage family influences. They learn to love from a distance when necessary. They learn to be grateful for their roots while growing their own branches in new directions. Your family's role in your life will evolve as you evolve. Some members will grow with you, accepting and eventually celebrating your changes. Others will remain stuck in their perception of who you used to be. Accept both scenarios with grace. Consider Anna, a researcher whose groundbreaking work required long hours and intense focus. Her family interpreted her dedication as rejection. Every missed family event became evidence of her changed priorities. Every research breakthrough was overshadowed by guilt trips about absence from family functions. Anna's solution was beautiful in its simplicity. She created structured family time. Quality replaced quantity. When present, she was fully present. Her boundaries actually improved her family relationships by making her interactions more meaningful and less strained. This isn't a one-time decision, but a continuous process of adjustment. Some days you'll need more distance, others less. The key is to stay tuned to your own growth needs rather than family expectations. Trust your intuition about when to engage and when to step back. Remember, this gift you can give your family is not your constant presence or unlimited availability. It's the example of someone living authentically, pursuing their potential, and having the courage to make difficult choices in service of growth. Let me tell you about Marcus. a teacher whose innovative methods challenged his family's traditional views of education. Every new teaching approach he introduced was met with resistance. Every success story was countered with, "That's not how we were taught." Marcus's response was instructive. He stopped seeking approval and started creating results. He let his students' success speak for itself. He maintained family connections while maintaining his professional integrity. Today, his teaching methods are adopted by many, including schools in his hometown. You may fear that creating distance would damage your family relationships permanently, but consider this. Relationships built on authenticity, even with some distance, are stronger than those built on constant presence but hidden resentment. Your success, achieved through making these tough choices, might be the catalyst that inspires other family members to examine their own lives, to question their own limitations, to reach for their own dreams. Your courage in creating distance might be the gift that liberates others in your family to do the same. Think about Elena, a writer whose family saw her craft as an indulgence. They couldn't understand why she needed quiet time to write, why she couldn't just get a real job. Every hour spent writing was seen as an hour stolen from family obligations. Lena's choice was clear. She needed space to create. She set boundaries, created a writing schedule, and protected her creative time like a mother protects her child. The result? Her books now inspire thousands, and her family proudly displays her works in their homes. Don't expect everyone to understand this choice. Most people choose comfort over growth, security over potential, the known over the unknown. That's their right. You're right. And responsibility is to choose growth, even when it's uncomfortable. The path of the chosen one is often solitary. Not because you're better than others, but because the journey of becoming requires space. Space to think, space to grow, space to succeed, space to become. Consider James, an athlete whose training schedule conflicted with family expectations. Every missed family dinner was seen as a personal slight. Every competition victory was overshadowed by comments about his obsession with sports. James's solution was balance through boundaries. He scheduled family time around his training, not training around family time. He shared his victories but didn't seek approval. He maintained connections while maintaining his commitment to excellence. Creating distance from family isn't about rejection. It's about protection. Protecting your dreams, your growth, your potential. It's about creating the conditions necessary for your full flowering as a human being. In the quiet moments when doubt creeps in, when the guilt feels heavy, when you question your choices, remember, your life is your responsibility. Your potential is your responsibility. Your growth is your responsibility. These responsibilities sometimes require difficult choices. The world needs you to become everything you're capable of becoming. It needs your gifts, your vision, your unique contribution. And sometimes, delivering on that need requires creating space between you and those you love most. This is your time, your moment, your life to live. Love your family, honor your family, but don't let family bonds become family bondage. Create the space you need to grow into the person you're meant to be. The path ahead will be challenging. Creating and maintaining healthy distance requires courage, conviction, and compassion. Courage to make tough choices, conviction to stick with them, and compassion for both yourself and your family as you all adjust to new dynamics. Years from now, looking back on this chapter of your life, you understand that creating this space wasn't just about your success. It was about everyone's growth. Your family will either have grown with you or they'll have grown in their own way, catalyzed by your example. Stand firm in your truth. Trust your journey, honor your gifts, create your space. The world is waiting for what only you can bring, and sometimes bringing it requires taking a step back from those who would keep you in your familiar place. Your destiny is calling. Answer it with courage, with love, and with unwavering determination to honor the gifts you've been given. Let me share something vital about this journey you're undertaking. Consider Patricia, a skilled surgeon whose choice to pursue medicine meant missing countless family celebrations. Her parents couldn't understand why she couldn't simply work normal hours like her siblings. Every missed birthday was met with emotional manipulation. Every holiday absence became family legend. But Patricia understood something profound. Her gift of healing was meant for more than just her family circle. By creating distance, she developed the skills that would later save thousands of lives, including, ironically, the life of her most critical relative during an emergency surgery. When you're chosen for greatness, the very act of stepping away becomes an act of service. Your temporary absence creates a permanent legacy. Your current distance builds future bridges. The mechanics of maintaining healthy distance without burning bridges. First, understand that consistency matters more than intensity. Better to maintain steady, reliable boundaries than to swing between total availability and complete withdrawal. Think of distance like a thermostat, not a switch. You're not turning family connections on or off. You're regulating the temperature of interaction to maintain optimal conditions for growth. Some days need more warmth. Others need more cool space. Learn to read these needs without guilt. Take Carlos, a gifted architect whose family viewed his international project as personal abandonment. Every overseas opportunity was met with resistance. Every success in a foreign land was diminished by comments about forgetting his roots. Carlos's solution was masterful. He created a communication ritual every Sunday, same time, video call with family. No exceptions, no excuses. This regular connection actually allowed him greater freedom the rest of the week. Structure created liberty. Here's a truth many won't tell you. The pain of creating distance never completely goes away, but it transforms. What starts as sharp guilt becomes dull awareness. What begins as acute loneliness becomes comfortable solitude. What feels like selfish ambition proves to be selfless service. Remember, every great achievement required someone to break pattern. Every breakthrough demanded breaking free. Every innovation needed space to germinate. Your distance today is tomorrow's gift to the world. Take Rachel, a technology innovator whose family couldn't grasp why she spent holidays coding instead of cooking. They saw her passion as addiction, her focus as obsession. Every missed family event became evidence of her misplaced priorities. Rachel's approach was revolutionary. She turned her distance into opportunity. She taught her younger cousins coding during family gatherings. She used her success to fund family members' education. She transformed her absence into presence of a difference. The chosen path requires chosen responses. When family members say, "You've changed," respond with growth is change with purpose. When they say, "You're never around," answer with truth. I'm creating something that will benefit us all. Consider the natural world. Every eagle must leave the nest to soar. Every salmon must swim upstream against the current. Every butterfly must break free from its cocoon. Nature teaches us that growth often requires separation. Let me tell you about Marcus, whose decision to start a nonprofit meant leaving his family's generational business. Every family meeting became a trial. Every success in his new venture was met with comments about abandoning tradition. Marcus didn't fight the criticism. Instead, he let his work speak. When his nonprofit began changing lives, when his program started lifting families out of poverty, his own family's perspective shifted. They saw that breaking tradition could create new, more powerful legacies. Here's a powerful true. Your family's resistance is often proportional to the importance of your mission. The stronger the pushback, the more vital your chosen path may be. Their resistance can be a compass pointing toward your true north. The key is maintaining perspective. Your family's reactions come from love mixed with fear. Their resistance springs from concern tangled with control. Understanding this helps you respond with compassion while maintaining your course. Consider Diana, a spiritual teacher whose traditional family couldn't accept her non-conventional path. Every meditation retreat was viewed as rejection. Every teaching opportunity was seen as straying from their faith. Diana's wisdom was in creating bridges of understanding. She found common ground between her path and her family's beliefs. She translated her insights into their language. She maintained her truth while honoring theirs. Remember this. Distance isn't about superiority, it's about necessity. You're not better than your family. You're simply called to a different path. This understanding keeps pride from poisoning your purpose. The chosen ones often walk a path of paradox. By stepping away, they become more present. By following their own path, they create new paths for others. By pursuing their individual calling, they serve the collective good. Think about Samuel, a research scientist whose groundbreaking work required him to miss his father's retirement party. The family viewed it as a final proof of his selfishness. What they didn't know was that his research would later save his father's life through a medical breakthrough. This is the profound truth of chosen distance. What looks like separation often creates deeper connection. What appears as abandonment often enables greater service. What feels like selfishness often manifests as the highest form of giving. Your task isn't to justify your choices. It's to live them so fully that justification becomes unnecessary. Let your growth become your explanation. Let your impact become your excuse. Let your service become your defense. As you walk this path, remember that guilt is often the price of growth. Don't try to eliminate it. Use it. Let it remind you of your capacity for love. Let it fuel your commitment to make your distance worthwhile. The world needs your unique gift. It needs your focused energy, your undistracted attention, your full presence, and your purpose. Sometimes, giving the world what it needs means giving family what they don't want, your temporary absence. This journey of the chosen one isn't about escape. It's about emergence. You're not running from, you're running toward. You're not rejecting your roots. You're growing new branches. You're not abandoning ship. You're building a bigger boat. The future will thank you for today's courage. The lives you'll touch will validate your choices. The impact you'll make will justify your journey. The legacy you'll create will explain your distance. Stay strong in your knowing. You trust your inner compass, honor your calling. The very family members who resist your growth today may be the ones who benefit most from your courage tomorrow. Your destiny is bigger than their understanding. Your purpose is greater than their comfort. Your journey is larger than their fears. Walk on with courage, with love, and with the quiet confidence of one who knows they're on their chosen path. Remember, the greatest gift you can give your family, but your constant presence, but your fully realized potential. Your success becomes their legacy. Your growth becomes their pride. Your impact becomes their joy. The path of the chosen one isn't easy, but it's worthy. It isn't simple, but it's necessary. It isn't comfortable, but it's right. Walk it with grace. Walk it with purpose. Walk it with love. This is your moment, your time, your calling. Answer it with everything you are, everything you have, and everything you're becoming. The world is waiting, and your destiny beckons.